My name's Scott Wilkinson. I'm a professional piercer, and I've been doing this since 1994. Now, when you get a new piercing, even if you take care of it properly, you can still have problems. So today we're going to talk about the top 5 most common piercing problems. Now, starting out at number 5 is the least common, but the most serious, and that is piercing rejection. That's where the body pushes or rejects the jewelry all the way out of the body. And if it comes all the way out, it's going to leave a huge scar. Now, the good news is if you notice it's rejecting, if it seems like the bar seems to be getting longer or the tissue's getting less in the middle, that means it's probably rejecting. And if you take it out, it's not going to leave as big of a scar. Now, if you're nervous about your piercing rejecting, don't worry, it doesn't happen to everyone. Generally, this is eyebrows, bridges, nipples, navels, and definitely surface piercings. If you want to know more about this, check out this video. Coming in at number 4, we have migration. Now, migration is real similar to the rejection, except for it's just changing the angle or putting it to a different position than you initially had it pierced at. Now, when you first get piercings, a lot of times we give extra room for swelling and we tell you to downsize to a shorter post in the future. So if your piercer told you to downsize, I would highly suggest doing this. This is the #1 reason why piercings change their angles. If that bar is too long, it's just going to kind of shift and kind of sit in an uncomfortable position. Now, the second thing I want to say is if you're sleeping on a piercing, even if it's the right size and that jewelry's being twisted and contorted, that can also cause that piercing to migrate. So try not to sleep on your piercings either. Coming in right at the middle of the list, number 3 is leaving your jewelry out way too long. Now, even by saying way too long could be a misconception because it could be minutes. Now, the reason this is such a misconception is we all have that friend or relative who leaves their piercing out and slides it right back in months or years later. But honestly, most of us, our piercings are going to close up really quick within minutes. Now, if you have to take your piercing out to be hidden, I suggest maybe putting a retainer in there. But if you have to take this piercing in and out all the time for work, for sports, it's going to get irritated. It's probably not eventually going to go in one day, and it's not going to really look good because you're scarring it up. Leave your jewelry in, and if you need to, get a retainer. Coming in at number 2 is one where people call and ask if their piercing should still be sore for this long. A lot of people give up way too early, and piercings can take a long time to heal. Now, generally, you're looking a couple weeks to maybe several months for a piercing to be sore or tender, but sometimes it does take longer. Now, for instance, if you have a navel piercing and your pants are rubbing up against it, or if you wear helmets or something presses up against a fresh ear piercing, yeah, it's going to take longer to heal. So consider your lifestyle and keep in mind, the healthier you are, the faster you're going to heal. And finally, coming in at number 1, you probably guessed it, it's that dreaded piercing bump. Now, piercing bumps can happen on almost every piercing. I've seen them on eyebrows, nostrils, cartilage, nipples, navels, genitals. It happens on them all. So, now these piercing bumps typically are irritation bumps. If you sleep on it, if your piercing got hit, if your jewelry's way too long, way too short, these are all issues which can cause a bump. So take care of your piercing, downsize your piercing if you need to, and keep your hands off your piercing, and hopefully you can avoid that dreaded piercing bump. Now, if you want to know more about the piercing bumps, check out this video. I talk way more in depth, and hopefully this can help get rid of your piercing bump. Now, these are the top 5 most common problems that I've run into in my career. If you've had problems, let us know in the comments below. Now, if you enjoy videos like this, make sure you're subscribed, hit that like button, and of course, keep putting holes in your body. We'll see you all in the next video.